drank the wine?
What wine?
What wine? There is beer and wine that was outside. So next break, make sure, because you need that for blockchain. How on earth will
I thought you were saying we need it before your session.
No. Well, you'd enjoy it more if you had it for my session. But anyway, so as Shrikant said, my name is Ashima Jain. Among many things, I'm very passionate about Pan-IIM alumni. Because when I came into this country with nothing, it was the alumni and others who helped me settle in. And so some of us, and Lokesh is here, we started, I'm USA at that time, but now because we have 13 chapters, including one in Toronto, we changed the name to IIM Americas, okay? So 7,500 alumni in the Americas. We have a 6-member board, 13 chapters, at least 4 events a year. Actually, last night, Dallas had an event, right? But despite that, people from Dallas are here. So people from Texas, raise your hands. And then there are people from New Jersey, East Coast, raise your hands. And they have come just for this conference, right? Am I missing any other geography? These are the 2 large ones. Okay.
Yeah.
India.
Yes.
Yes. But then you said you split your time between, so you're local.
Only next week I am going to India.
Okay. All right. So when I started in the IIMs, there were 3 IIMs. Now there are 20. I acknowledge this map of India is not what we in India are used to seeing, but this is what I had. The reason we have this session is some of you may be getting involved with IIM Americas for the first time, attending Pinnacle for the first time. We have expanded our digital footprint. Okay, so we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are on WhatsApp, we are on Twitter. If you're not part of any of these groups, you're kind of, I think, missing out. So if you want to be part of these groups, just send an email and you'll be part of these groups. A lot of our outreach activities are now through the social media as opposed to kind of sending you emails. We still do that once in a while. We also have an IIM Americas women's group. So if you're not part of that group, send an email. We meet pretty regularly and have a lot of fun. So with that,
Spouses.
Huh?
Spouses.
we can. How many of you want to have IIM Americas spouses groups? Okay, we'll start a spouses group. We will do that. And we also have a YouTube channel, okay? Now, how many have been to Pinnacle before? All right, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. How do I usually start this session?
I am Pinnacle.
Right, so can we all say that? Put your hands up, okay? And let's do it together, okay? So speak with me. 1, 2, 3. I'm Contempo! No, it needs to be. It needs to be higher. I'm Contempo! There you go. So anyways, we start with that war cry after lunch because, we've eaten and looks like not many of you have drunk, so you're still awake. Okay. This event would not have been possible without our volunteers. As you can see, we have, I think, 25, 26 volunteers, and included in the volunteers this year, we have students from Santa Clara University, right, who are volunteering there at the registration desk. They've been running around with mics and so on. All the volunteers, can you just raise your hand? Let's give them a big hand. Now, with that, what I would like to do is invite some folks who have come from out of California or within California. Each will take 2 to 3 minutes to introduce themselves, why they are here, what they do. Okay, so with that, can I request Chakravar to come up? All right, let's give him a big hand.
It's actually Chakravarti Vidala, and I think 3 of the letters got truncated over there. It feels so nice to be here in the Bay Area. I always felt that this was my home, but I ended up in Texas. And I would like to thank Ashima, all the volunteers here who put together this conference for Pinnacle. This is my first time here, and I'm sure I'm going to make this an annual visit, and even that I look forward to.
Excellent.
And I really enjoyed the sessions on blockchain, starting with the, pardon me if I'm not very good at remembering names, you can see from my gray hair that I don't really remember them. But the sessions were so good and so enlightening. And I was asking the lady from Santa Clara University if there's a workshop that she has where I could get a little more hands-on experience on the things that she talked about. Not only that, seeing so many of the IIM colleagues here, younger and older ones, especially the younger ones, makes me feel younger. And I do hope that these kind of events happen more often at a national level, not necessarily in the Bay Area. We also look forward to some events happening in Texas, and I'm sure we'll be able to contribute along with some of my friends who come from Texas, and Veena George, who plays a very active role in Houston in organizing these events. That's all I had, and thanks, and wish you all the best.
Next, Sanjeev. Sanjeev is actually one of the organizing members in Dallas, so
Thank you, Ashima. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is actually spelled wrong there. It's Sanjeev. Maybe we need to blockchain that because we are coming up with the Bode coin we were talking about. But really glad to be here. 1993 batch. I am by now. And when I was talking to some of you, you said, "Oh, that's old." And till I met somebody from 1974. But yeah, I don't think I am ever get old. But always really a pleasure to be here because every time we get to meet, and this time, you know, I have my spouse also, Sarita. She's also here from SMU. She has also been an active supporter in all the events we have done, and I think unlike the IITs, we somehow don't have as powerful a forum, I feel. More so, corporate America, you know, still doesn't know. We still don't have a 60 minutes on IIM, right? Probably something we should do. Honestly, we need that, right? I mean, how many of corporate America recognizes IIM as probably equivalent or something of the top-notch schools we come from? So. Obviously, I would be lying if I say I didn't come only to meet all of you, but also for the Bitcoin and trying to learn about cryptocurrency. But very interesting sessions, especially I think the last session by Tony, I think set me thinking, especially when she mentioned about the survival of the fittest, right? And I think one facet which I want to share of IIMs, probably, we are all known for being the aggressive, you know, super competitive. There's a terminology which people who have gone to the institute will know, RGGD, which we always do. But, so a personal story, and probably that should resonate here, because IIMs probably, at least I thought we're not known for that. So we had an unfortunate thing. We lost our daughter in Jan. She had a condition called cystic fibrosis, which does not have a cure. The struggle was always on, but 2 years ago, when I think all bets were off, doctors had given up, the least of things I could think of was to post it on an IIM forum and saying, "Guys, can you help? I mean, in whatever shape or form." And I was so touched. In fact, the two of us, people from IIM networks reached out to research institutes in Israel, in China, in Korea, and what have you. I mean, though finally we lost her, that's a different story, but the point is, the kind of people they give us access to through their networks, the kind of research scientists, the kind of technologies which are out there. I think if our case is anything as a case in point, then I think to the previous story, Charles Darwin's theory of survival of the fittest, I think the IIM group is survival of the kindest. With that, I'll end it here. Thank you so much.
can I invite Bijan? At least that spelling is right. Oh, he's not here. Okay, Anand?
That's me.
Okay, all right. So remember guys, I was doing this in the true IIM fashion.